Have you ever wondered just how far back the human story goes? What is the earliest trace of our ancestors on this planet? In this video, we'll journey through millions of years of evidence, from ancient fossils to groundbreaking DNA discoveries, to uncover the true antiquity of humankind. Buckle up, because the answers may surprise you. Our story begins around 7 million years ago in Africa. The oldest known hominin, Sahelanthropus cadensis, was discovered in Chad in 2001. Its skull, nicknamed Tumai, shows a mix of ape-like and human-like features, including a small brain but a face that suggests upright walking. More famously, Lucy, a 3.2-million-year-old Australopithecus afarensis skeleton found in Ethiopia in 1974, provided clear evidence of bipedalism. These early ancestors lived in woodlands and savannas, already setting the stage for the human lineage. Yet, these were not modern humans, but they were our forerunners. The evidence is not just bones. Footprints preserved in volcanic ash at Litoli, Tanzania, date to 3.6 million years ago and show a fully bipedal gait. So, the journey of upright walking is at least 7 million years old. Around 2.8 million years ago, the first members of our own genus, Homo, appeared. The earliest known Homo fossil, a jawbone from Leti-Giraro, Ethiopia, dates to 2.8 million years. Soon after, around 2.6 million years ago, we see the first stone tools, the Oldowan industry, at sites like Ghana, Ethiopia. These simple flake stones were used to butcher animals, marking a cognitive leap. Then came Homo erectus, first appearing in Africa about 2 million years ago. This species had a larger brain, made more sophisticated hand axes, and was the first to leave Africa, spreading into Asia and Europe. The famous Turkana skeleton, 1.6 million years old, is nearly complete and shows a tall, modern-like body. Evidence from Manasai, Georgia, about 1.8 million years old, pushed back the date of the first exodus from Africa. Brain expansion continued, and by 800,000 years ago, Homo heidelbergensis appeared, the common ancestor of Neanderthals and modern humans. Neanderthals evolved in Europe and Asia between 400,000 and 300,000 years ago. They were adapted to cold climates, with stocky builds and large noses. But they were not brutish. They made complex tools, buried their dead, and even created symbolic objects like the Dibs-Babe flute, though its status is debated. Their genome, sequenced from fossils in 2010, shows they interbred with modern humans, leaving about 2% DNA in non-Africans. Meanwhile, another group called Denisovans was identified from a finger bone in Siberia's Denisova cave, dated to 50,000 years ago. Their DNA lives on in Melanesians and Aboriginal Australians, suggesting they ranged widely. Both species coexist with early modern humans, and their stories are woven into our genetic tapestry. The famous hobbit on Flores Island, Indonesia, lived as recently as 50,000 years ago, showing unexpected diversity. Anatomically modern humans, Homo sapiens, first appear in Africa around 300,000 years ago. The oldest known fossils come from Jebel Irhoud, Morocco, dated to 315,000 years ago, pushing back the origin of our species significantly. These early sapiens had modern-looking faces but more elongated brain cases. Evidence of complex behavior, like engraved ochre and shell beads, appears at Blombos Cave, South Africa, 100,000 years ago. Around 70,000 years ago, a small group of sapiens crossed the Bab el-Mandeb Strait into Arabia, beginning the out-of-Africa migration. By 50,000 years ago, they had reached Australia, using rafts or boats. By 45,000 years ago, they entered Europe, where they encountered Neanderthals. The migration routes are traced through genetic markers and stone tool similarities. The peopling of the Americas occurred much later, around 15,000 years ago via the Bering Land Bridge. The story of humanity took a dramatic turn about 12,000 years ago with the domestication of plants and animals. This Neolithic revolution began in the Fertile Crescent, where villages like Jericho and Catalhoyuk emerged. Agriculture allowed for permanent settlements, population growth, and social complexity. This was not a sudden invention but a gradual process over millennia. The first cities arose around 6,000 years ago in Mesopotamia, and with them writing, law, and organized religion. the Bronze Age brought metal tools, and the Iron Age followed. Yet, these are mere blips compared to the deep time of human evolution. Our entire recorded history, from ancient Sumer to today, is less than 6,000 years, while the human journey spans at least 7 million years. This perspective humbles us, showing that we are the product of an immense and intricate evolutionary process. The next time you look at a starry sky, remember that the atoms in your body were forged in stars, and your lineage goes back further than any written word. From the first upright steps in Africa to the dawn of civilization, the human story is one of resilience, adaptation, and curiosity. We've traced evidence back 7 million years, but new discoveries continue to push the boundaries. Ancient DNA, advanced dating techniques, and fossil finds in unexpected places constantly rewrite our understanding. So, how far back can human history go? The answer is always evolving, but one thing is certain: we are part of a grand narrative spanning eons. Thanks for watching. If you found this journey through time valuable, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos on human origins and history.